Louise with Louise McKay Art, and welcome to my channel. I appreciate you being here. I'm very thankful because I know we all have time constraints, and the fact that you're here is a blessing, really, because you have so many other things to do. And I have things to do too, like create a video, create creations so that I can hopefully sell some of these downtown. And this is going to be a clock creation with a CD. I got a pack of CDs off of Amazon, but you probably have CDs laying around the house. So this is a really good way of turning trash to treasure, and let's get started. So what I've got here is my pillow paint, and I've got a really cute color palette I discovered the other day, and I'm trying to run out these paints, and I'm planning to make coasters, maybe a charcuterie board. I have skins for it already. A Lazy Susan, and we'll see what else we get from this. I'm gonna stretch that out a little bit. I think I need a little more paint. If you haven't noticed, for me, I do try to be as stinge-worthy as possible on the laydown of colors, because I'm going to be spinning this and it's going to stretch out, and I'm going to also blow it out. So all those little actions are going to help this stretch and spread. So let's get started. So my first color, Amsterdam's Naples Yellow. And this is made with my regular pouring medium, which I keep right here. It's my Valspar 833124 with semi-gloss. And this is about 2.5 parts paint to 1 part MinWax. I'm gonna lay some of this down. And what's more important here is, it's not so much about how much to the gram you have, but the consistency. And I always shoot for around a 2 to 3 second trace when pouring it off the stick like that. This color here is Benzie, shortened word for me, Benzie Yellow by Glidden. I've yet to figure out how to say that word. And this is a really pretty bright color. Had it sitting over here. I think it was one of these colors I got from Michael's at 40% off. So I've had it sitting around, waiting to do something with it. Now this next color is a combo. You've seen it before. Quinacridone with my Zeus from TLP, which you get from the Fluid Art Company, which in my experience with them have been fantastic. Very dedicated group of people with really good products. Next color, my combo for gold, Deco Art Extreme Sheen 24 karat and Golden's Iridescent Gold. And those two colors, that golden quinacridone color and this golden gold, are beautiful together. These colors, I would probably give you a written guarantee that these are going to work together. Last color. This is a color I pulled out of the archives here. Haven't used this in a long time. Micaceous Iron Oxide. It's very heavy. Semi-transparent. And it actually, when you stir it, you can even feel the grittiness in there, because I think they're actual iron bits. Now I had used black, and I'm using black cell activator, so I wanted to have a different contrasting exterior color to this. So that's why I went with the darker gray. This micaceous. I wanted something really bold and shimmery, which this is. So I pulled it out, and I've already made a Lazy Susan with this. No, I did not. I made 2 paint skins already with this. And it's gorgeous. Next color is my cell activator. This is Australian. This is my Australian Floetrol cell activator. I put an AU on there. I have a really good video if you don't have access to Australian Floetrol. It's my American Floetrol cell activator. It's my video 141, and in it I show you how I mix it, and every time you see me use it, that's what it looks like. It works like a champ. It's equally as good to me as this. I just happen to have this on hand right now, so I'm using it up. Titanium white, oxide black. Here we go. Nice. Yeah, it was only a few days ago I woke up and said, you know, I really want to, that's just after the blowout all by itself. I really wanted to work with a yellow color palette. So that's what I got here. Now, the funny thing about this micaceous iron oxide, it's a very strange effect. And you'll see it more when we stretch this out. But it looks like it's spray painted, where, and you've heard me talk about a spray painted look before where I'm not happy about it. But I'm telling you, it looks really cool with this color combination. It's kind of a brownish gray. It's very cool color. So we're just stretching this out, getting it over the edge, and then we're going to give it a spin. And if you want to see how I have my setup here, I've got video 230, which shows you how I have my setup. It's about a 3-minute video. Shows you how I have it set up here on this Lazy Susan I got from, where did I get it from? Amazon, when I first started. Go ahead and spend the money for the good aluminum Lazy Susan. You will be happy that you did. Oh, that's blue. Let's see, what color do I want? I'm thinking, oh, it's just scrap paint here. Yeah, this micaceous iron makes this effect that's so cool. And really plays well with that nickel azo gold. Give it another spin. Got one white spot. I'm going to get rid of that right now. I'm going to keep spinning because I want to get this off and that off. Or at least stretched out a little more. Here we go. Yeah, this is, it looks gray here, but when you get it down, it's brownish. It's a very cool color. Yeah. I'm starting to play with this a little more lately. And I've got a, you know, it's like every paint has a personality. It really is true. And you have to figure out, you know, what's going to work right with what colors. And you just, it's like getting, it's literally, you're making friends and you're getting to know these guys. Wow. I'm going to give it one more spin. I think we're about done. We'll clean up the bottom as well. I'll just go around cleaning up the bottom real quick. And while I have a moment, I just want to direct you to my description where I have links to some of the products I use and links to some of the more educational or instructional type tutorials you might find helpful. Actually, let me just give another spin. I think I moved it. Dead center. Yeah, video 230. I should have, I probably linked it already. Shows you the setup here. And you know you're almost done spinning when you hardly have any paint to pick up besides what's right underneath it. So I'm going to go around, I'm going to get all the bottom off, probably after. But in the meantime, let me show you what we have. That nickel azo gold is peeking through that micaceous oxide like a fire is underneath. Look at that. Oh, so cute. Just to let you know, I do have a full clock tutorial where I take you from taping off the back, making the creation, the resin part, the after resin, the prepping the back for finish, inserting, how to drill the hole for the clock mechanism, which isn't as easy as you think, finishing off the back, finishing off the mechanism, and putting it on your desk or your wall. If you're interested in that tutorial, just reach out to me. My email is in the description, and you will get all the details on that. It's an hour-long tutorial, no stones unturned. You get everything you need to know to start right now, creating your own clock and selling them or giving them away as gifts. All right, everybody, I'll be back for the final after this is resined. I'll wait at least 7 days before I resin this. All right, I'll be back. And here's the wet result. I'm going to go into a little bit about how I work my wood for the stand. All right, so I'm rethinking my clock stand as I have had this piece of wood that's quite interesting for quite a while. I mean, it's got all kinds of really cool alcoves, lichen, moss, and I'm thinking about just leaving it natural. Because look at this moss, it's gorgeous. I'm just wondering if there's a way I can preserve it. So I'm gonna get on the saw and cut this to what I think might work for this size. All right, so I'm back to continue tackling this piece of wood. I tried using this Dremel that's supposed to be a high-speed cutter. I was not happy with it, but it did cut through. Let me show you. So I cut through here, but I slept up a couple times, so I'm not thrilled with that. I might cut that off a little bit more. You can see that. I don't like that. So I'm going back to my jigsaw, and I haven't used it in a while. But all I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna cut like in a little arch right here. So just kind of make a line here. I do not have a workshop that's set up for tools like this, so I make do with what I have. So this is just my jigsaw, it's an old one. I'm just gonna cut it out like I'm a seamstress, and we'll see how this works. Oh, but wait a second. Before I even do that, I'm gonna have to get rid of this piece back here because my saw is too long. So let's just snap this off. All right, now I've got open space. See what I mean? If I was trying to cut, I would have cut right into that. It would have made a mess. So I am not the most handy with tools, but I can get around a little bit. So that's what we look like here. I'm just gonna mirror that a little bit on this side. So let's go. While I can get around tools a little bit, I really do wish I had a little more space for a real workshop. I did take a workshop class when I was in high school, and that was fun. But all I'm doing here is just trying to make something different for the base of these clocks. Typically, I just get my clock stands off Amazon, and I think I have a link for that in the description. But every once in a while, I just want to make something a little bit different, just to give it a different feel and have a different look at the end. And while I can use a jigsaw, I really wish I had a scroll saw, which is like a table that you can put it on, and it acts the same way as a jigsaw. You just push your piece through it. I think if I had the tools that I wanted, I could probably create a lot more intricate things once I learn how to use things properly. But anyway, that's for another day. And I'm gonna get back here in a second to real time. Whoop, there it goes. It went on its own. Okay, the adventures. Okay, so this is what we got. If you can see that. So that's kind of cool. I'm gonna clean up the top here a little bit. But this is where we are. And I will be back to whatever I decide I'm gonna do next. Alrighty. I'm gonna clean out the inside of this. If you can see this. It needs a little bit of housekeeping. I hope you can see, because I can't. There we go. And I've got my drill. I'm just gonna go in there and try to smooth it over a little bit. I'll be back here in a second. All right, I'm just gonna go to town here, insert that, and just let it go. I'm gonna spare you most of this sanding out the middle, but I just wanted to show you how to attach to the drill bit a sandpaper piece to help clean out the center. And I'm gonna skip ahead here real quick. Just wanted to show you that though. So it's a lot, I don't know if you can see this, it's a lot cleaner. I'll go up to the bottom where we are. And now I'm going to figure out where I'm going to place the clock on here. And maybe do some other decorations with this piece of wood. I gotta figure out, is there a way for me to preserve this with a lichen and everything on it? I don't know. I'm gonna have to research that. But we'll figure this out. I'll be back with the final call. So I'm just giving it a coat of satin varnish. And I've already done it, but I'm just gonna show you just real quick, just going around. I'm holding the camera, so it's kind of hard to do both at the same time. Just going around, making sure I got it all covered. So that's that. Now I'm gonna find where to put the clock on after this dries, and we'll put all this together. So here she is, fully finished with the clock stand, the resined clock face, and a little butterfly I added just for fun. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial with some ideas of how to work with the base and how to work with wood a little bit. I certainly am no expert, but at least it might spark some ideas in you. I ask, if you are new here and you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell and all. You'll get all my art tutorials, and if everyone could leave a comment, I'd appreciate it. A thumbs up would be great, and a hype would be awesome. And if you're a person that likes to buy online, if you're able to go through my links here from my products and purchase online, YouTube will give me a little piece of commission for that, and that would be really helpful as well. All these little pieces of assistance add up to me continuing to create and hopefully inspiring and giving ideas to everybody. So that's all I have for now, everybody. Take care. Till next time.